Hi, this is Shadi, and today we're going to be discussing Uchi Mata, the throw of throws, the throw of kings, one of the most popular throws today and one of the most liked throws amongst grapplers. So what we will do today is actually do kind of like a time travel, starting with sumo, passing through Koryu Jujitsu, which is, I'd say, the most important part of this video, and finally talk about in the context of today's competitive judo, because judo has evolved so much and a throw like Uchimata surely has evolved in terms of entries, variations, what you do with your legs, what you do with your hands, etc. But before I start this video, I just want to say that I put out a post asking if you'd like to see a podcast with me and Eric Shahan discussing old Koryu Jujitsu and the transition from Koryu to Kodokan, and you said yes. So the podcast will be coming soon, so stay tuned. So first we start with sumo, the oldest, older than jujitsu, and here you see it's called kake nage. I've covered this when I compared judo to sumo. Obviously the gripping, the kuzushi, is far different since there's no dogi, so the only grip that they had was actually the mawashi, and also you have the overhooks, underhooks, hands around the back, etc. Uchimata is very organic, I'd say. Here you see it in Boch wrestling, Mongolian wrestling. You can see it also in Shiram and many other indigenous styles or folk styles of wrestling. So, but today we're obviously sticking with Japan. So, this textbook of Jujitsu by Inoguchi Yoshitame, it's from the Taisho period, the first year of the Taisho period, meaning 1912. The bulk of Inoguchi's studies were actually Tenjin Shinryu Jujutsu. So you might ask yourself, so does it come from the Tenjin Shinryu curriculum? Not necessarily, because his books are actually a mix of various koryus. He added the techniques, blended them together in his books, but a throw like Uchimata was actually very popular, that many schools actually practiced it. So I asked this question, why? Because Kano obviously studied Tenjin Shinryu, and here you say he's mainly a Tenjin Shinryu student, so you might come to the conclusion that it comes from there. However, that's not necessarily the case. But however, it was a throw that's very popular in the Tenjin Shinryu circle, to the point where it's made its way to Nage no Kata. The book, of course, will be in the description below, the link for the National Diet Library for you to check it out and download it. So another point is that like Noguchi Senryuken, which is the author of the Tiger Scrolls, Jujutsu 1913, you can also find Uchimata Harai. Uchimata Harai is within this book. However, he did not study Tenjin Shinryu. He studied Kitoryu and a long list of other koryus. So at best, it's a very popular throw found in many schools, very similar to Ogoshi, Ippon Seoinage, O Sotogari. Not as popular as those throws, but however, it was a very liked throw that it made its way in the curriculum of judo. So let's see it here. This one, it says at the top it says O Uchi Mata Nage. You read it from right to left because this is old Japanese. You see him, he's pushing the lapel hand to the face, punching him almost, and then pulling the sleeve hand towards him, reaping away. It looks very much like your Ken Uchimata of today. Obviously, we can see here the resemblance. Let's take a look at a competition example. Look at Kosei Inoue, easily one of the best Uchimata artists. But look at his hands when he actually executes it. He's pushing the lapel hand to the face, he's punching the face and pulling away the sleeve hand. Very much like Hitoshi Saito would say, that you have to punch the mat with the lapel hand downwards, and that's how you get a successful Uchimata. Here you see you have the dotted foot and you have the drawn foot. You see that it has to sweep away the thigh, and the lapel hand is pushing downwards, and you pull away the sleeve. This is clearly Uchimata. It's written on top, Uchimata Nage, an illustration of it. So here you see you have two. You have one that is O Uchimata Nage, which is like a big one where you are reaping away, you're hopping away, you are pushing. And here you have Uchimata Nage, which is, you know, your lift, where you just take them down on the spot and turn them away. So let's read the description of this particular throw in the next page. So here, the first, I'd say the third from the right, you have like bold kanji. It says Jujitsu Uchimata Nage Zukai, meaning illustration of Jujitsu inner thigh throw. It says those who lose during the match or practice should touch the tatami mats to show the loss. The thrower should immediately take the second position. If you fall down together, you may feel pain by hitting both bodies, which is normal because even today when you are committing, you're gonna have to actually go down together. It says, so be careful. Jujitsu in crotch throwing illustration. Grab the enemy's right sleeve or armpits with the inner left hand, and the right hand catches the collar near the enemy's right neck, and pull it diagonally to the left of your body with both hands, at the same time as pulling the left foot back. Insert the right foot into the center of the both feet, meaning he's trying to position the pivoting foot of the enemy, and lift the left foot of the enemy. Then rather than letting go of your hips from the time you fall down from your hips, do not miss this. At this moment, lift your right foot high like a black line, tensen straight, and set your hips to the left. So he's basically talking about lift your leg up high and create like a rotation with your hips. And here, when the enemy is weak and the enemy is good, he may fall first. This shape is the same as the O Uchi crotch mentioned earlier, so the O Uchimata that I mentioned earlier. But unlike the previous one, the toes are unavoidable. So he's talking about a big lift. So I'd say the first one was more of a ken-ken, and the next one where you have a big lift, but it's O Uchi because you have like the big reap and then like the big hop, so it's a big throw. Now, when it comes to today, you have multiple forms of Uchimata. You have this one, which is the driving Uchimata, Oikomi no Uchimata, where you step in, the other leg replaces it just like in the book, and then you rotate with your hips to create a big lift. Here you have Tobikomi no Uchimata, jumping of Uchimata, or Tobikomi Uchimata, where you are jumping in. Koze Inoue was very famous for this one. You have also Ken-Ken Uchimata, hopping Uchimata, where you can, if you cannot get that big lift, the toes are still touching the ground. As you see, you hop it through in order to destroy the balance completely. Other forms also include the Mawari Uchimata, circular Uchimata, or tornado Uchimata, and of course Uchimata Makikomi, where you are sacrificing yourself downwards, wrapping around your uke with the sleeve hand, letting go of the lapel hand and wrapping around, sacrificing yourself downwards in order to score and secure a score. Here you see Joshiro Maruyama against On Ball in 2018. And here is another example where he gets Tal Flicker behind him, lifts him off the ground with his hips and leg, back of his thigh, lets go of the lapel hand, wraps it around and drags it downwards, sacrificing himself for the Wazari. So, and finally, I just want to say this. There's this huge confusion as to why the Japanese today do, in terms of basic form of Uchimata and demonstration, Hanegoshi and not Uchimata. You see him here springing the hips and also like bending the knee, targeting the far leg and not so much between the crotch or splitting down the center. Well, there's actually an explanation for this. According to Fluid Judo Japan himself, he says when it comes to training Uchimata, you drill Hanegoshi because you have to be mindful of your training partner's crotch. So if you want the uke to be safe and also remain your friend, you would practice Hanegoshi instead of Uchimata. And another reason is that this is from a private conversation. He says to me that for us, the Japanese, there's no difference between Uchimata and Hanegoshi. We train Hanegoshi as a basic form, as a learning tool in order to progress to Uchimata, because it allows you to put your hips in the right place. It allows your feet to be in the right place, the hands in the right position, how everything working together in a safe way, and also to keep uke safe at the same time. And I tried it myself. I would actually aim for Hanegoshi, but when I find that I could get the lift, I would try to go for more within the crotch and not on the far leg with the bent knee, and I would actually get the lift. So it is the foundational tool for learning Uchimata. That's how you put it. So in a sense, you can say Hanegoshi is a basic variation of Uchimata for the Japanese. That's the most logical explanation for this. And also a big thank you for my tutor for translating the textbook with me. They're absolutely insane and amazing. So the book will be in the description below for you to download it. There's gems of it, particularly in Newaza. I'll cover in the future knee on belly, guard, leg locks, etc. If you have anything else to add, please let me know down below. Also consider supporting me on Patreon. I have exclusive content for the patrons only. I post there once a week. And also please don't forget to check out Josh Simon's shop in the description below. This was Shadi, and thank you for listening.